I'm in a bit of a pickle, you see.
Oh, St. John, is there any chance you could come over tonight?
What?
I'm sorry it's such short notice. It wouldn't have been if I'd remembered, but the thing is, Fanny's very down in the dumps, you see, very down. She really does need a break. Well, so do I, come to that. It's Susan, you see. She's taken a turn for the worse.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's probably just withdrawal from all the tranquilizing drugs they put her on in hospital. And then her friends will keep coming over in evenings and talking about their plans and their blasted A-levels. And, of course, there's no possibility that Susan could. At least not for a few years, anyway. You see, last night, we heard her shrieking with laughter at something on the television. A good sign, Fanny and I thought, the first time she's laughed since her breakdown. So we went into the living room and laughed with her. Until we realized that what we were laughing at was a news flash to do with some particularly hideous atrocity and what followed was a bit of a nightmare. It ended with the doctor having to sedate her. Almost forcibly, I'm afraid. So I noticed that La Règle du Jeu was on at the Arts. One of our favorite films. So decent and humane. And then a quiet dinner afterwards at the French place, just the two of us. If you can manage it. You're the only person Susan will allow to babysit, you see. She seems to feel some reassurance from you. And, of course, little Fanny and Benjamin love it, too, when you come.
Well, I'd love to, Henry. I'd love to, but could it be tomorrow?
No, Saturday's no good, I'm afraid. We have our family therapy session in the afternoon, and we're all so exhausted afterwards. Oh, demoralized, really. I've still to be convinced they serve any useful... Though, of course, one mustn't prejudge.
Well, Sunday, then?
Ah. Unfortunately, Fanny's mother's coming over on Sunday. Rather against our inclinations, as she tends to be rather insensitive with Susan. Advises her to pull her socks up, that sort of thing. Yeah. You can't manage this evening, then?
Well, you see, the problem is... Henry, the problem is...
Well, there we are, St. John. Sorry to have been so long. Hello, Henry. I didn't know you were still here.
Hello, Melanie. Oh, I've been meaning to say all day how much I'd like that dress.
Thanks. I'm taking St. John to one of my evenings.
Oh. Oh, I see. Well, I'm sorry Fanny and I have been unable to come so far.
Oh, I know how difficult things are for you at the moment. As long as you both realise that any time you want to come along. I was thinking that perhaps Susan might...
Yes. Thank you, Melanie.
Are you all right? You look a little fraught.
No, just tired. Friday evening-ish, that's all.
And a bit of a headache, too, hey, Henry?
Oh, where?
Well, in my head.
Yes, but which part?
Well, it seems to be just here.
Ah, well, that's a tension headache. Nurse Grimes showed me a marvellous way of dealing with that. Let me have a go at it.
What?
Now, put your head back. Right back.
Yeah.
Now. There.
Oh, so that's how they do it. Well, it looks jolly relaxing, Henry.
No! Oh, sorry. Sorry, Melanie. I don't quite know what I've done.
I expect I heard you press the wrong nerve. I still haven't quite got the trick of it. My clumsy...
Well, actually, it does feel a little better. Thank you.
We'd better be on our way, St. John. It's quite a drive. Good night, Henry. Rest yourself during the weekend, won't you?
Yes, same to you, my dear. Well, good night, St. John. See you Monday.
Night, Henry, old man. See you Monday. And if it turns out that Saturday or Sunday, well, I know that I'll be free.
Off we go, St. John.
Righto.
Oh, St. John, there's something I've been meaning to ask you for weeks.
Hello, Eddie. I didn't know you were around today.
Oh, there was a frightful shemuzzle in the office, so Thomas asked me to come down. Is young St. John around anywhere?
No, he and Melanie have just left, I'm afraid.
Well, I could have quite liked a word with our St. John. He's caused us quite an afternoon. Apparently, he missed his last class entirely. The students waited doggedly through the whole hour for him to turn up, and then went off to the office and berated poor Thomas. Like Germans. You know what they're like when they think they're not getting their money's worth of syllabus.
Oh, dear.
Though I doubt if they'd get much more sensible English from St. John present than from St. John absent. As far as I know, that Swiss Ferdinand Muller was the only one who felt he got value for money from St. John. Thank goodness he stopped sending those dreadful postcards at last. They made Thomas quite upset. But I wonder what it was that he enjoyed so much about St. John's classes. Well, perhaps the lack of... well, I don't know what we're going to do about him in the end. I mean, if we were to turn him out, where would he go? Who else would have him? One must look after one's own, I suppose, when it comes to it. I agree with Thomas on that. After all, the school is our family, the only family that Thomas and I have got between us. So one has a responsibility to them, and responsibility to the students, too. Oh, it's so difficult to get the balance right, so difficult. St. John forgetting to teach them. And now Melanie is starting up her missionary work among them. Thomas is going to have a word with her, too. The Catholic countries won't stand it, and why should they? And now our Meadle, taking to slipping away before the bell now that he's got his permanency, and trying to bluff his way past me in the hall as if I couldn't see him. Well, at least Mark's pulling his weight now that he's got his camellia back. I never did for a moment see a writer in that lad, did you? And Anita? Really, I don't know how these young modern couples cope. But I gather that Nigel's taken to fatherhood quite wonderfully. Yes, Thomas and I saw them, 3 of them, on the backs the other day, and a very pretty sight it was, too. Good. Yes, the problems of a flourishing school, eh?
Yes, indeed, Eddie.
Well, I'd best get on back up to bed, or Thomas will have a fit. Goodbye, Henry. See you on Monday.
Yes.
Bless you, bless you.
Yes. See you Monday, Eddie.
Oh, by the way, I haven't asked for a while. How is Susan?
Oh, responding, I think. Slowly.
Good.
Slowly responding.
It's always a Christmas somehow, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, Henry, I'm so sorry. I
No, you're right. I was thinking much the same thing. Although, of course, in Susan's case, I don't think the season was relevant. At least, not to her. The blinds were always down, you see, because any brightness hurt her mind. Natural brightness, that is. She could tolerate artificial light until the last bit.
Look, I'm going to have to go soon, I'm afraid. I promised the au pair she could have the night off, and Nigel's probably not coming back from London until tomorrow.
Yes, I've got to get back pretty soon. Daphne's not feeling too grand, what with the morning sickness and all the redecorating.
Of course. There's really no need for all of us when it comes to it. It's just that as soon as I heard, I thought you would want to. But without perhaps enough consideration, it was a bad idea, perhaps.